A feed, yeah? Facebook. Facebook, that's a reference I couldn't make 4 years ago. Yeah, topical humor, never gets old. Say it again, topical humor. It never gets old. Oh, well, that's exactly what topical humor does. That's alright, that's alright. You guys didn't get that? That's cool. It's cool. It's just gonna be a rough set. It's gonna be a rough set. Okay. The comic, Simon Munnery, says there's only 3 topics. Yeah? Sex, death, and religion. I'm 22 and look like a hipster Charles Manson. So it's going to be sex. I'm going to talk about sex today. Specifically child sex. Yeah. Look at all you living in fear, the pedophilia reference. It's coming. It's coming. But it's going to be veiled. The talk. The talk is really what I'm going to talk about. You know the talk. You've all had it. Some of you probably have given it. You know the birds and the bees, flowers and the trees, the hens and the cocks. I tried that on a lady one time. I said, "Hey, lady, I'd like to put my cock in your hen," and she balked. Yuck yucks! She balked. Yeah, chicken sex pun. We weren't ready for that. There you go. Yeah, I remember when my father came to me. It was time for me to learn that to every season there is a turn. He said to me, wrap it up, else you'll end up raising some little shit you hate. That's how he lost his job as my 4th grade sex ed teacher. That of course is a joke. It was budget cuts. Budget cuts, everybody. Dalton, huh? Yeah. What's up next? No, that's not true. But my mother. Actually, this is a real memory of mine. When it was time for my sister to learn, she's a little bit younger than me. I was older. I'd already hit puberty. My mother, she's a social worker, a wise woman. She came. She really tapped into the greatest minds in psychology and sociology today. And so she really turned to the only source of knowledge when it comes to child sexuality. Truly the source that has its finger on the pulse of puberty. The 1970s Childhood Sexuality Handbook. Yeah, you've seen it. You've seen it in the 70s. You know it. Filled to the brim with liberalism. The kind of book that describes masturbation as the awful itch. It feels so good to scratch. My favorite part of the 1970s Childhood Sexuality Handbook is the non-anatomical drawings of children growing hair. Because who really needs an anatomical drawing of a child's growing hair, you know? I mean, I know what my body looks like. Who's staring at those photos, you know? It makes me think of those parents on the beaches with their children, naked as Adam and Eve. It's a fallen world, people. Put your baby in a burqa, you know? It's a dangerous world. It's a dangerous world out there. Did he just say, put your baby in a burqa? Yeah, what are you thinking? Well, he said veiled earlier with that whole pedophilia reference. Well, you're saying he foreshadowed a joke? Could he be that good? It's really hard to say. I mean, surely if he was, he would have continued with this false dialogue for this long. Yeah, but at this point, I mean, now that he's mentioned it, surely he's going to quit. No, he's just hurt. He's not going to stop. Well, where do we go from here? I mean, he's alienating his friends even. Who will show up to his next show? I know I won't be there. I think we can thank God for that.
They're like, oh, you can't do the
So the 1970s childhood sexuality notebook. Yes. Really, I think it's sort of a book that I have two minds of. Because on the one hand, I learned that masturbation was an awful itch that feels so good to scratch. But on the other hand, nestled within a chapter with the greatest word pairing, I think, in the English language, because really it gets to the essence, the very essence of soiled bed sheets and teenage shame. Wet dreams. Oh boy, it doesn't get better. Like a room that has the aroma and humidity of a room freshly masturbated in. You only know it if you felt it, people. You only know it if you felt it. Within this chapter, it said, now prepare yourselves, because once you hear this sentence, it's never going to leave your lives. Just because you've had a wet dream about your family does not mean you're sexually attracted to a member of your family. Now that may be true, but when I read that sentence at 16 years of age, I had never, in those 16 years, ever worried about that. But now it is a constant waking nightmare. It's very true. It's very true. But one thing I want to say is we're not all sex objects. You know it. You've heard the women say it. You know the women. They're like the men, but they've got boobs, huh? And statistically, 70% of a man's wage. The women, yes, with their Dove Beautiful Bodies commercials. We're not all sex objects. You, sir, you are not a sex object. You, ma'am, not a sex object. And I am not a sex object. Unless, of course, you're speaking genetically. In which case, yes, that's all we are. That's a fact. That's a science fact, Big Joes. That wasn't words I just said. Where was I going to go? Where was I going to go from the sex object, though? I wrote on my hand, but my writing is terrible. Yes, okay, here we are. I'll cap it off with this. In 1905, Sigmund Freud, you know him, Sigmund Freud, mother of psychoanalysis, father of the term MILF, huh? Yeah, Oedipus complex, there we go, I found the room. He in 1905 wrote the joke in its relation to its unconscious. And while at that point stand-up was not the art form you see before today, I feel that he would say that it's very compensatory, you know? It's all about compensation. I mean, really, just think about it. I mean, I'm not saying I have a small penis. It's been said plenty of times before. What I am saying is it's not hard to imagine a stand-up as a large phallic fuckstick. Because truly, like, as your laughs massage my throbbing, engorged ego, my sperm word enters your fertile mind womb. Which is all to say, if you did not enjoy my set tonight, I'll give it 9 months. Thank you. Thank you.
That was Ryan Walsh. Let him hear it.